Why Mercedes is shocked about this terrible news at the Canadian GP. We have a piece of news released about Formula One and the Canadian GP. The thing is, Mercedes is shocked about this terrible news. Why? What's the reason behind it? And how will they manage things? Well, let's find out. Hello friends and welcome back to Formula One News, where today we are going to discuss a piece of informative yet exciting news. Mercedes is shocked about the terrible news at the Canadian Grand Prix. What was the news and how is it affecting Mercedes? We are going to discuss here everything in detail, so make sure you watch this video to the end not to miss any part of it. And before that, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and hit that bell icon so you get more videos like this. Let's start with our video. The Formula One International Automobile Federation, or FIA, has taken measures to address the porpoising 2022 vehicles. But how exactly will the new regulations affect the course of the season, and will they be detrimental to Mercedes in any way? On the eve of the Canadian Grand Prix that will take place this coming weekend, the governing body of Formula One, the FIA, issued a technical mandate to all the teams outlining intentions to eliminate the aerodynamic phenomena known as porpoising for the sake of driver safety. To this point in the season, almost all of the newly built 2022 vehicles have been troubled by a variety of high-speed bouncing issues, with porpoising being a particular problem for the car that Mercedes has been using. The likes of Carlos Sainz of Ferrari, George Russell of Mercedes, Pierre Gasly of AlphaTauri, and Daniel Ricciardo of McLaren have all expressed their concerns regarding the potential long-term health effects that the extreme bouncing could have on their bodies over the course of the upcoming seasons. At the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Russell issued a warning that the current Formula One regulations are a recipe for disaster, while his Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton suffered severe lower back pain as a result of spending the race being battered by the violent bouncing in his car and experiencing up to 6G in vertical loads. Russell's comments came at the same time as Hamilton's experience. Because of this, the FIA has adopted new regulations that will require teams who are having trouble with bouncing to reduce the amount of vertical oscillations in order to assist better safeguard their drivers. Greater study of the planks and skids, both in terms of their design and the observed wear, is the second suggestion that is categorized as short-term. It is generally accepted that the purpose of the Montreal weekend will be limited to the collection of data in preparation for a technical meeting that will involve all of the teams and be held in order to define measures that will reduce the propensity of cars to exhibit such phenomena in the medium term. And that was about that news. It surely created an impact on Mercedes. Let us now see what kind of impact it has. Given that Mercedes is the current world champion and have been the most vocal about its concerns about this problem, the declaration made by the FIA that it would intervene due to safety concerns may be seen as a victory for Mercedes on the surface. However, the underlying source of Mercedes' bouncing issues during their most recent race in Baku was not the car's tendency to porpoise. An improvement that Mercedes debuted at the Spanish Grand Prix was really a step in the right direction towards fixing the porpoising issue. In Azerbaijan, the problem was that Mercedes was driving its vehicles on a circuit that had a lot of bumps while maintaining excessively low ground clearance. Because of this, the W13 behaved in a combative way when it bottomed out. Christian Horner, the boss of Red Bull, seemed concerned about something when he implied Mercedes was overplaying the dangers of their cars bouncing when he said that Mercedes was hoping to see some kind of technical directive implemented that forced all the teams to raise their cars. In Baku, Horner said, "You can tell that it's unpleasant, but there are cures to it. However, this will reduce the overall performance of the vehicle. Complaining, from a precautionary standpoint, is the simplest thing to do, yet each team is free to make its own decision." As it turns out, the FIA statement is directed directly at the teams whose vehicles are having trouble with the bouncing. This is the case because bouncing has been a big problem. In the past, Mercedes was forced to lift their automobile in order to counteract the porpoising, which had a negative effect and impact on the performance of their vehicle. There is speculation that a potential maximum tolerance for bouncing would require Mercedes to once again make concessions on their car setup, which would reduce the company's level of competitiveness, at least in the near term. Nevertheless, Russell emphasized that the impact on the competitive order would not be crystal evident and that he considers the fact that the FIA is stepping in to fix the situation to ultimately be a good development. Russell told Sky, "I think this is something that everybody thinks Mercedes is sort of pushing for, but from a pure performance side of things, we don't really want to change because if there's change, you never know if it's going in your favor or against you. I think this is something that everybody thinks Mercedes is sort of pushing for. It's something that we as drivers have talked about internationally, that we won't change going ahead because what we went through over the weekend just wasn't sustainable. It's something that we want to alter. I think it's encouraging to see that they've taken action on this right of way and that it hasn't taken them weeks and months and political considerations to modify something like this. I believe that this is a hopeful sign. When it comes to safety, things need to be addressed as soon as possible, so I'm not shocked to see it come in so fast, but I believe it's good for everyone. When it comes to safety, things need to be handled as soon as possible. But is there a chance it will affect the championship fight? The second issue that has to be answered is whether or not the verdict might wind up providing Red Bull an edge over Ferrari and ultimately ending this year's campaign for the World Championship. It has not been a problem for Red Bull's RB18 to porpoise, but the same cannot be said of Ferrari's F175, which can frequently be observed bouncing in an excessive way. In contrast to Mercedes' difficulties, it does not seem that this has had any impact whatsoever on Ferrari's ability to compete. Therefore, there is a possibility that the technical guideline may limit Ferrari's performance, which will eventually put Red Bull in a better position to win the championship. After winning 4 of the previous 5 races, Max Verstappen already has a dominating advantage of 34 points over the third-place Charles Leclerc in the driver's standings. Meanwhile, Red Bull has a dominant lead of 80 points over Ferrari in the constructor standings. Gunther Steiner, the principal of the Haas racing team, issued a warning that the FIA's intention to crack down on porpoising for safety reasons might have the unintended consequence of dramatically shifting the pecking order. If the FIA comes up with a change and Mercedes has created anything in that area already, then they come out of the gate already running, Steiner said on Thursday. I believe that is going a little bit beyond the appropriate bounds. We need to take accurate measurements of what it is. Some of the automobiles are in quite rough shape. In addition, there is a remedy available, which is to simply increase the ride height. However, you should proceed cautiously after that. Who among us wants to go slowly? It's like when, in the midst of the season, we had the change of tires. I don't know how many years ago it was, but anything similar to this, if you modify something fundamentally, you have the potential to entirely reorder the pecking order. Is that really going to be fair? So, that's all for this video. What do you guys think? Will it affect Mercedes? And should it be that much shock in the news? What do you guys feel about this video? If you find it helpful, please like and share it with all your friends and family. And if you want to watch more videos like this, then all you gotta do is subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit that bell icon too to get the notification of our latest videos. We are always updating new material, and if you have any questions or comments about this one, make sure you leave it in the comment box below. We check our videos all the time, and we'll be happy to interact with you. We hope you all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.